Hey, so I've been kind of laid up for a couple weeks, but I had an appointment in Long Branch, and so I made it down here today. First time in a while, and so great to see the Jersey Shore and give you a little view there. And you know, when I know that when I say Jersey Shore, I know the response I get a lot of times is immediately people think about like it's a TV show and you know the template or the film that's like laid over it of what people have done and so the image that it gives it. But I think of Psalm 24. And it says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So I think about if you remove all that stuff and fluff from the stage here of life, and what you have is, you have got a lot of God's creation is still unadulterated, believe it or not, and it's just so great to look here. Like I'm looking out on this one spot of the beach behind. I'm looking out. There's actually no one on that spot, and so I see the ocean. I see a few boats, but just think it just makes me think about. So what makes all this? Like God created things and it was good. So what's made it not good? And people deciding to not listen to God and take things in their own hands, and better ideas, thoughts, and imaginations that lift themselves up against the knowledge of God. And so I was thinking years ago, several years ago, I went to a short-term mission trip in Haiti, and I remember standing up on one of the roofs and looking out and seeing the beauty of these palm trees and the water blue and blue sky and just beautiful, and thinking to myself, why is it that things are so impoverished? And I realized with a couple natural catastrophes, and you kind of wouldn't doubt it. 100 years voodoo was their national religion, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of leave a wide open door for something to happen. So anyway, just looking out and thinking, well, right today, like at that time, like what's stopping it from becoming, flourishing again? Like what, I looked out and you could see like there's one place with a harbor, there's all these containers, all these ships were like out there and they weren't allowed to dock, and all these containers were there and they weren't allowed to be delivered. They were shut down because of bureaucracy. And, it was like choking. It's like, so what's in the way here? Things could be grown and people could help one another and thinking, well, what is it? Once again, what's the stigma? What's the template? What's the film that's laying over this? And it's brokenness. It's the brokenness of mankind. It's you and me. It's that part of ourselves with that will that says we want to do it our way. We know better than God. And I'm thinking, so it starts very small. The healing starts very small, and the most important healing is the spiritual healing, because that's an eternal thing that can happen right now. And so, but God starts within and he works his way out. So once that spiritual healing has taken place by coming humbly to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and surrendering to him, he's before all creation. So God knew about all this. He knew he saw the whole parade before it even happened. He knew this was going to happen and he provided. So if we, get ourselves out of the way and allow the great healer to come in, he begins to build from the inside. And God can heal us in the most important way, spiritually. And then he can do the rest of it too, but come what may, that's the most important thing. And we have opportunities to prove that that's the most important thing too. And as he begins to heal us, and then we sort of become, his ambassador, his ambassadors, we're agents of his kingdom, which is happening, which is greater than these things that we can see. And they're great. The ocean's great. All these things are great. But he begins to heal us, and then he can begin to work from the inside out and heal our relationships with other people, our families, friends, relatives, people around us. And it can work outward. And, once we're in right alignment with Christ, then things begin to work right. I mean, we're living in a broken world. There's a lot of people that are addicted to that. So if you're kind of like walking in alignment with the Lord, you're going to get some repercussion. You're going to get some reaction to that, because there's all these patterns that are just stuck in their ways, like addicted to behavioral patterns. So that's going on, and you're going to come up against that. So you got to kind of expect that. But it's so beautiful, and just when those things happen, just to press in further to Christ, and for him to be showing us more and more all the time how alive he is, and giving us his life that nothing in heaven or on earth can take away. Then that's what he's building. He builds upon that. And I'm just thanking and praising God today. The simple things in life, his creation, him, us, get ourselves out of the way, honor and worship him. Let him begin to show us, like in the midst of this, and the darker and the more complicated and chaotic it gets, then the more that the beauty of Christ within, he's just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I want to say I love you guys. I do. So by God's grace and by his agape love, which is the love that God had and has for man, that while we were yet sinners, God sent his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. God bless you.